Hi, this is Josh Grube from Prospectus News. We're here at Westside Park where the Occupy Champaign-Urbana demonstration just took place. Let's see what they had to say.
Before the march began, the demonstrators met outside of WEFT to discuss the rules and the current plans. Local band The Curses were performing there as well.
Lots of money. Come on, brother, can you stare down? Let us play the corner one more time. Oh, what much? We just want fortune and fame. Got your back, go ahead, give it away. Any antagonistic behavior, please be respectful and do not respond. This could come from other pedestrians, bystanders, or vehicles. Safety is our #1 policy. Please do not litter during the march or during the rally. And after the rally concludes, we would love any volunteers who would help out to clean up the litter and any mess. Let's leave Westside Park cleaner than we found it. And lastly, although there are many local organizations that are represented here, Occupy CU is independently run by local citizens and is not affiliated with any other group. So, thank you all, and let's march on.
Then the march began.
Wall Street bankers, rich and rude! We don't like your attitude! Banks got bailed out! We got sold out! Banks got bailed out! We got sold out!
Money for jobs and education, not for corporations.
Money for jobs and education, not to bail out corporations.
When the march ended, a rally was held at Westside Park where demonstrators gave their opinions on the economy.
I'm the father of two beautiful daughters working hard to make their way in this world. My friend Jesse and I were the ones who first put together the original call to occupy CU today on the International Day of Solidarity with the protesters occupying Wall Street in New York. I am so happy to see so many of us here today. I've been waiting for this protest for a long time, for at least the past 2 or 3 years. I could not believe that I could be the only one seeing what was happening with our economy and our democracy. I couldn't believe that I could be the only one who was angry, really angry about what I was seeing. What I was seeing was that our futures, including my daughter's futures, were being stolen right out from underneath us. I felt like it was time for a mass movement in our country. A movement by the people, for the people, against corporate dominance and corruption, and for the greater good. For the greater good, for economic justice, and for real democracy. We have to change it, not just for ourselves, but also for our brothers and sisters around the world who are suffering as a result of what started in our country, what started in New York's financial district and in Washington, D.C. And yet these are the same people that every election cycle are able to say, I support the military, I'm a military guy, go troops. Well, that's bullshit. Kill other people's poor for our rich. We're also here to say, end this corporate greed, end oppressing the middle class, and end this war. Thank you. Workforce in Chicago occupied Republic windows and doors and kept that plant from shutting down. When I was in Madison in February with 100,000 people from around the Midwest, there's a myth that people in the Midwest never fight back. I have never seen that. We occupied the Capitol, and what made that occupation strong? The teachers who violated their contract and went on sick out. The largest rally in New York so far was the 20,000 people 2 weeks ago who showed up with all the unions. You saw the pilots in their uniforms. You saw the transit workers suing the city, refusing to take any more bus rides to prisoners. You saw those union members turn out. Now, I understand that only about 12% of us are in unions, but most of us work, and that's where we're getting screwed, and that's where we need to organize.
After the rally, we talked with a few demonstrators who gave us their reasons of participating in this movement.
How do you interpret this movement?
I interpret this movement as, it's good, there's a lot of people here and everything, but honestly, I think people are missing the real purpose of this, and the purpose of this is to realize that we as people have individual powers that they can't take away from us, that no one can take from us. And with that power comes the responsibility and the privilege to live a flourish life, live a really good life.
Well, I interpret it, like I say, as people with a lot of frustrations built up for a lot of reasons, but like I mentioned in my speech, there's people who are upset about their jobs, who are upset about the state of American education system, who are upset about the way we run our taxes in this country, who are upset about the wars, about the bailouts, and all of that. People are upset about all these things, but what it comes down to is we're tired of not being heard by our elected officials. We elect somebody to go to office, and they go right to the trough to feeding on the corporate donations and the big money donations and the big media donations that run their policies. And you can see it reflected in their policies when they talk about more tax cuts for wealthy people while cutting teachers' pay, while cutting classrooms, while not building and rebuilding the bridges and the roads and the things in this country that need repair. And all of that frustration is piled up. And when you see empty homes and homeless people, and when you see work that needs to be done and people out of work, people start to realize there's a disconnect. And if they can't see it in Washington, we can see it here in CU. They certainly see it in Occupy Wall.
There was a large turnout at the event, with over 300 people in attendance. This is Josh Grube for Prospectus News.